Go ahead and start. So for this, you can use this coloring book here, but it's missing this muscle right here that's on top of both of these. That's the medial head of the triceps brachii. I've got it here labeled as number 3. So I'm actually going to start from the bottom here. This really thin muscle on the bottom, that is your epitrochlearis. This is one I've labeled as 5. And right above it, sometimes it's hard to discern where it starts to split, but you can kind of feel around and you'll find it. This one up top again is the medial head, because we're in the medial view of the triceps brachii. The other two are on the other side of the arm. The trickiest one to do in here to see is the one here labeled as number 1. That is the biceps brachii. In order to see that, you have to take this pecto antebrachialis and even part of the pectoralis major, and you have to cut it back and reflect it. And that's sort of shown here as number 3 and number 2, that they've been cut back and removed. Underneath, you'll see that bicep. It's on the top of your arm. Flipping around to the other side, the only 2 muscles you need to worry about are these 2. This I've talked about before. This is the lateral head, because it's on the most lateral side of the triceps brachii, and the one on the bottom is the long head of the biceps brachii. We talked about that when we did the superficial shoulder muscles. I pointed those 2 out. And that's it for that.
Did I get in at 1 again there? Just trying to see what's pointed.
Yeah, so it's this big muscle right here. It's that bicep. There. All right. I'm ready. We can go ahead. Okay, so there's several muscles here and some you don't need to worry about. Just worry about the ones on your actual unit guide, and even there's one that I'll go over we're not going to worry about. Every cat's different. This cat, we just got really lucky. We have really, really clear serrations here, and you can get in nice and close here. See these little serrations? It looks like a serrated knife. That is your serratus ventralis, because it's on the ventral side. So this number 51 here is in one of the serrations of the serratus ventralis. Coming all the way up to the top, and you can see here I've actually cut off the entire pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, xipha humerellus, and the pecto antebrachialis. I cut off that whole part here. We don't need to do this to every cat, okay? We're going to choose the ones that look like they'll be the best candidates for it. But right in the center here, you have this line that runs down, and it runs all the way down into the abdominis. Down here in the abdominis, we call it the abdominis rectus. Up here in the thorax, and they labeled it down in the abdominis region, but up in the thorax, that's our rectus thoracis, because it's the rectus muscle, but on the thorax. Right next to it, and again, how clear it is just depends on your cat. We'll try and find the best cat for this. You have 3 scalenes. The scalenes go all the way up, like right into the top of the shoulder. You have 3 of them. There's 1, 2, and 3. Sorry. Yes, 1, 2, and 3. The very top one is your scalene, or your anterior scalene, because it's most anterior. Your second one is your scalene, your medial scalene, because it's in between, it's in the middle. And your third one that is most lateral, that is your scalene lateralis, or lateral scalene, either way. Then we have the part that we've kind of sliced off here. The scapula is underneath right here. The bottom part of that scapula, so just sub to the scapula, is your subscapularis. It's going to be on this side with the arm. And then on the other side, this muscle would usually be attached here if we hadn't pulled away all the connective tissue. That is your levator scapulae. Okay? When it's attached, it lifts the scapula up. And that's it for the deep chest muscles.